Chapter 38. The Spark. After everyone had quickly packed their bags, the kids all gathered just inside the front door. Nurin handed Jack a cylinder that was about 8 inches tall and about 4 inches in diameter. It looked like some sort of space-age thermos, while at the same time it looked very old. It was metallic gray with a purple moon, blue and green earth, and a yellow sun decorating it. Even though it was cool to the touch, Nurin explained that this container was given to a sir and her hundreds of years ago. It's called the Spark, and it contains what is left of the flame of life. They all looked at it with reverence, understanding it could possibly be the most important thing on Earth. I brought this home with me the last time I visited a sir, and now he needs it back. Get this to a sir and be careful. It is the last of the flame. In the process of capturing the spark, my fireplace has gone dark. Jack carefully put it in his backpack. Then Nurin added, Only trust each other. Shapeshifters can be anywhere. Confused, Lake said, You're coming with us, aren't you? Verona answered for the Moon Woman. Now that the flame is out, Nurin is not strong enough to come with us. We are going to have to do this without her. Everyone wanted her to come, but they trusted Verona, and nobody asked again. They realized that this would be a final goodbye. Lake gave her a great big hug. Lake's voice was muffled by Nurin's arm, but Adam heard her sister say, I love you. Nurin then said, It was one of the greatest joys of my life meeting you. Then she lifted her own necklace off over her head and handed it to Lake. She said, I want you to have my necklace. It will bring you great strength when you need it the most. We are a perfect fit, you and I. As she put it on, Lake felt a surge of energy like nothing she had ever felt before. It felt as if Lake had just eaten a full jar of cookies and a liter of Coke. She felt that what her grandmother said was true, and with that, she hugged her once more. Then Verona and Lincoln each hugged the Moon Woman goodbye. Jack thanked her and said his goodbyes. Finally, Adam stood in front of his newly discovered grandmother and said, I didn't believe it at first. He paused, looking ashamed, and said, I was wrong, and I acted like a jerk. No matter how crazy it sounded and how crazy it actually is, Verona was right about you, and you were right about our hidden gifts. Adam glanced at Jack. Even though not all of us have found our gifts, you have taught us to believe in ourselves and that we are capable of amazing things. Thank you. Infused with confidence he didn't think was possible a week ago, he continued, We are going to save a sir. We are going to save my parents, and we are going to save the world. Then we are coming back for you. With that, he said goodbye, and Verona opened the purple door. As she did, the radio that had been playing soothing music gave a loud beep and broadcasted. We have interrupted our regularly scheduled programming for a special report. Due to the unprecedented outbreak of severe weather events, the National Guard, Coast Guard, and 50,000 military troops have been deployed across the country in disaster relief efforts. Basically, anyone who can hear the signal has been or will be affected by these events, which have included severe heat, storms, flooding, and fires. In other news, there have been hundreds of reports of strange sightings of unidentified creatures described to be lurking in the darkness. Authorities are asking people to remain calm and keep indoors when at all possible to prevent the spread of fear and paranoia seemingly penetrating every town in America. Many areas of the country have already lost power, and government leaders across the country are enacting curfews. Please look into the curfews and other information relevant to your area of the country. The White House has made a statement warning Americans that no more federal relief is currently available and for citizens to take appropriate precautions to weather the storms. These events are putting a strain on the citizens of this country. It has already resulted in a pandemic of looting and crime. The president would like to remind those who set out to intentionally break the laws of this country or hurt others that these storms will pass, and violators of such crimes will be prosecuted. If these issues persist, the president has warned she will invoke martial law. Further, law enforcement across the country has been stretched to their limits. In some instances, officers have already started to lash out. There have been over 100 reports of police brutality in the United States in just the last week alone. Once again, take precautions, remain indoors, and be safe. This has been a message from the Emergency Broadcasting Service. Now, back to regularly scheduled programming. The kids listened as the soothing Celtic music resumed playing. Each of them looked back towards the open front door before running out into the rain. Finding the car, they all piled into the station wagon. Jack sat in the front passenger seat, and Verona sat in the back with Lake and Lincoln, leaving Adam to drive the group through the storm, down the small mountain, and hopefully all the way to Belvedere. Adam knew they needed to hurry, but he was not an experienced driver. In fact, the first time he had ever driven a car was 7 days earlier, and that was not through a violent storm. The roads were treacherous due to the severe weather. Everyone could sense Adam's anxiety, so nobody made a sound for at least the first hour. That was when Verona got out some snacks from her backpack and told everyone to eat something. They eventually made their way to the main highway. The wind was howling and the rain was heavy. Visibility was poor, but sensing the urgency of the moment, Adam stepped on the gas. There were abandoned vehicles scattered all along the roads and in the ditches. Still, Adam continued to navigate the slick highway pavement. They started with a full tank of gas, and they drove as long as they could. But the station wagon did not get very good gas mileage, so they were going to have to get off at the next exit. Adam found a gas station just off the highway, and all the kids piled out to stretch their legs and use the restroom while Adam filled the massive tank. As he was pumping the gas, a police car stopped at the pump right next to him. The officer exited his squad and unscrewed his gas cap. The lawman looked over at the 12-year-old pumping gas, then glanced into the station wagon. The officer greeted the preteen. "Hello, son." Nervously, Adam responded. "Hello, sir." As gasoline filled the squad car, the officer said, "A lot of strange things are happening these days. Kid shouldn't be outside all alone." Adam just nodded and whispered, "Yes, sir." "Where are your parents?" Adam froze. He looked toward the station and saw Verona walking towards them. She was focused on the cop, and she looked to be in great concentration. Seconds later, the policeman completely changed his tone and said, "You have a nice day and stay safe." Then he returned the pump, got in his squad car, and drove away. Adam turned to Verona in question. "What in the world just happened?" Verona smiled and said, "I guess we weren't the droids he was looking for." "Oh my God, you are a Jedi!" Adam proclaimed. Just then, Adam realized she could very well be the coolest person in the entire world, and maybe even the entire galaxy.